In any production line, things are going to go wrong. A part is defective, a process goes sideways. The real test is what you do next. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through exactly how to master these moments using SAP's quality management module. We'll turn a problem on the line into a clear, trackable solution. Okay, picture this. You're an operator on the production line. Everything's moving along just fine, and then you spot it. An item that's just not right. It's defective. You know you can't just let it go down the line. It's a critical moment. So what's the right move? Well, that is the exact question we're going to answer today. So we're going to dive into a very common, very real use case. A production operator finds a defective item. The problem is, it's not a simple fix. It can't be reworked right there on the shop floor. This is something that needs a little bit more help from another department. So the whole thing really boils down to communication. How does that operator, right there on the floor, get the right information to the engineering team quickly and accurately? They need a clean, digital way to flag the issue and get the ball rolling on a solution. And this is exactly where a system like SAP QM goes from being just helpful to being absolutely essential. But hold on, before we actually create the defect in the system, let's take a quick step back and make sure we're all on the same page. We need to clarify the 3 basic choices an operator has when they confirm their production numbers. Understanding this is really key to the whole scenario. So this slide here breaks down the operator's world into 3 possible outcomes. You've got yield. That's the goal, right? The good stuff that moves on. Then there's scrap. That's a direct loss. Items that are just no good and have to be discarded. But then there's rework, and that's our focus today. This is an item that has potential, but it needs some kind of intervention. It has a quality issue that has to be fixed before it can get back into the production flow. Okay, so our operator has an item that needs rework, but not something they can fix on the shop floor. They need to escalate it. So let's see exactly how they kick off this process right inside SAP/4HANA. So the very first step is simple, but it is so powerful. The operator creates a record called a production defect. And the absolute key here is that they link it directly to the specific production order they're working on. This creates this immediate, unbreakable digital thread between the problem and where it came from. And this is where the magic of an integrated system really shines. The second the operator references that production order, bam! SAP automatically fills in all this critical data, the material, the quantity, the exact operation number, and the order ID. I mean, this saves a ton of time, it prevents typos, and it makes sure the engineers have all the right context right from the get-go. All right, so the basic record is in the system. Now it's time to add the human element, the specific details that are going to help the engineering team really understand and solve the problem. The operator has 3 main jobs here. First, they need to assign this defect to the right person or team. Second, and this is a big one, they can add attachments. We're talking photos, notes, you name it, to show exactly what's wrong. And third, they need to define what kind of action is needed. Assigning a processor, it's all about accountability and speed. This isn't just about putting a note into the system and hoping for the best. No, you're actively routing the problem to the person who can actually fix it. This makes sure the defect doesn't just get lost in some digital pile, and that ownership for what happens next is crystal clear. Now, when it comes to those corrective actions, the operator has 2 main choices. Option 1 is basically just for documentation, logging a fix they already tried on the spot. But option 2, that's the real call for backup. This is where they define a new task and assign it, and the system automatically fires off an email to that person, letting them know, hey, we need your expertise over here. Now, as you know, not all defects are created equal. This production defect we've been talking about is perfect for a lot of situations, but what if the problem is bigger? What if it's a major issue? Well, the system gives you a way to escalate that too. So the trick is knowing when to use which tool. Think of a production defect like a first aid kit. It's perfect for a straightforward task or a simple fix, but a full quality notification, that's like calling in the surgical team. You use that for major issues that need a much more formal, structured process, like an 8D problem-solving process that involves immediate, corrective, and long-term preventive actions. And hey, for all of you who love efficiency, here's a little pro tip. You can actually configure your S4HANA system to do this heavy lifting for you. Just imagine setting a rule where anytime an operator confirms a rework or scrap quantity, the system automatically creates that more formal quality notification. It takes the guesswork out of it and ensures your quality process is followed every single time. Okay, so we've walked through the step-by-step process. Now, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What's the real strategic value of handling defects this way? The benefits really boil down to 4 huge things. First, you're building a direct digital bridge between the shop floor and engineering. No more miscommunication. Second, you get a perfect digital paper trail. Third, this makes sure every single quality issue is tracked all the way to resolution, so nothing falls through the cracks. And finally, all of this data becomes a gold mine for analysis, helping you spot trends and improve your entire process over time. And that brings us to a final question I want you to think about. We saw how a manual process can be streamlined, and we even touched on the power of automation. So think about your own operations. How could automating this kind of defect notification truly transform your quality workflow? It's a really powerful idea to explore.